The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation is brought to you by Alive, Bonneville Bones, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, ESC Distributors Limited, Grand Bahama News, Printmasters, Ron Electric Motors, and Wendy's.
Excuse me for my interruption. Before you come, another quick reminder to say, this coming Friday, and a police gonna over the lawn. You went to the man number one town round town. And this a Friday evening. Bim! The people them tired of working. Lord, them hear the disco playing. Bim! It make them feel like dancing. Ain't no summer set. Brita will be greater with the disco operator. 5-double-18 and a 6-tweeter. This a DJ talk sweeter. Still on him just up with the echo chamber. Watch a man, play the play. I them on tear off the game. Them up and step it with them cassette and them tape. Oh Lord, play 45, let's keep them alive. Play this coming, they want to jump and please. But when we play LP, say them really love me. They want to jump and free. But this a dance and a free. And it's a Friday evening. Bim!
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, The Foundation. Beautiful Friday afternoon. Friday, I don't know how superstitious y'all are and y'all get, but I didn't get this call from last week. Well, how would you know? You got to watch out for Friday. Friday? Why I got to watch out for Friday? It's Friday the 13th. Today is Friday the 13th. I hope that you have a holy day. Let's just be decent. It's a beautiful day. Grateful to be in your company. Always chopping the thing down, being able to talk the way that we do. I got some good news for you. Some good news for you about some great new shows that we got going on and some shows that's actually being able to kick off the September to Remember that we have going on here at Guardian. And our new Sunday lineup, it's here. It's Sunday Scotch Society is going to hear with Quincy Parker. It returns with new episodes at a new time now at 4 p.m. It's now at 4 p.m. Then we have the premiere of Remark with an exclamation. With Garth Roseborough, he's going to be here live from 5 to 6:30 p.m. And then it's going to be Let's Talk Together in English with Lady T now at 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. And with Caribbean and Urban American gospel hits with Landlord. It's going to be at 8 p.m. And there's more with part 2 of our fall premiere week beginning next week, Monday. Stay tuned for more information. And remember, if you're one of those persons, you need to be able to get your things together, right? Talk to me. If you are hearing this in somebody else's car, you're hearing this in the bus, you got your car, you need to get your starter together, or you needed to get your alternator, whatever you had to do. Whatever you had to do and your car was down, but you still got one of those Japanese cars, and you don't necessarily pick this up, you got to get this amount. You got to get this. The Hitspot's got something very special going on for you. It's an offer for $79.99. It's a special offer that they got going on for the entire month of September. You got about 15 and 2 is 17 days left to be able to do these things. So during the month of September, you can be able to get this done. And it's including a band expander, equipment and installation for that thing, right? Because you know, all you hear is the Japanese stuff, or you hear is that kind of different, you don't tune into this because you're on a different bandwidth. But you can get an expander from the Hitspot. Hitspot's located on Soldier Road, right there across from Burger King, right in the back on the side of Manny's. You can be able to see that the Hitspot is right there. I think they got everything available for you. So you can just go down there and check it out and let them know that you heard this right here on Guardian Radio 96.9, and you can be able to get that discount taken care of, right? Guys, make sure you pick up the Guardian newspaper. Got to shout out my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. If you are in the market, even though we're creeping in the middle of the month, if you are in the market for insurance and you want to be able to get some things taken care of, whether that's personally, whether or not you just hit a lick, you got your plates, you got you this, you got you that, and you want to be able to get those things on the road, and you don't want to be riding dirty, get yourself insurance, man. Go down to AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. 341-1AFS, 341-1AFS. Ask for my good friend Ethric Bow or Mitchell Richardson. He can be able to assist you. There's a great deal of persons down there can be able to assist you. Now, every time I have an opportunity to talk to Ethric, he said, Howard, we're looking for people. We want to hire people. If you are in the market looking for a job, you may not necessarily need insurance now because you ain't got no car. Talk to me. You ain't got nothing to insure, not just yet. You need a job. Call my good friend Ethric Bow. He may be able to assist you in those areas. 341-1AFS, 341-1AFS. They're located number 407 Blue Hill Road South. Right there across is the eastern side of the Golden Gate Shopping Plaza. So you can be able to see that information and get taken care of. They open up 9 to 5 on the weekdays, 9 to 2 on the weekend. So you ain't got to freak out if you was on the line too long or you couldn't make the line or whatever the case may be. You can get your insurance. Get your insurance and get yourself prepared for Monday when they open up at 9 to 5. All right? So check them out. Guys, some tragic news, man. If you had an opportunity to be able to, I'm sure they talked about it all morning, but if you had an opportunity to pick up your newspaper, you can be able to see it right there in the paper that says 2 die after a plane ditched. Right? The incident happened 8 miles west of New Providence, right? It says 2 died and 4 others was injured when the pilot of a Piper Aztec plane en route to Lynden Pinnett International Airport encountered difficulties and led him to ditch the aircraft in the waters approximately 8 miles west of New Providence. This is what the authority says. It said the deceased was identified as Alan Russell, 87 years old, and Emma McQueen, right? According to the Aircraft Accident Investigation Authority, the AAIA, preliminary information suggests that the aircraft left New Providence and headed to Andros, but the pilot turned back after being unable to land. It is too soon to determine the cause of the crash, but authorities will investigate whether the inclement weather at the time was a factor. Emergency response protocols were initiated by the Royal Bahamas Police Force, Royal Bahamas Defense Force, and the U.S. Coast Guards. The AAIA has indicated this information. So more information is in the paper. You can be able to see that. Also, I picked up on a couple stories, and I don't know whether or not this is just tugging on my heartstring as I read the story about Emma McQueen. What I understand is that she was also getting herself prepared for her mother's funeral. She was going to her mother's funeral. Isn't that crazy? That is crazy. And so that is a very sad thing, and we continue to be able to pray for those persons and pray for the loved ones who've lost themselves in this crash. That is a crazy thing. As I think about it, right, they saw home, because that's what the story says. They were unable to land. They were headed to Andros, but the pilot turned back after being unable to land. You know, Andros is a hop, skip, and a jump away. That ain't nothing, not even a hop, skip, and a jump, just a hop away. And you could see it. And I'm sure that they were getting prepared to get home and do all those particular things, and they didn't make it. These 2 persons. We continue to be able to pray for them and pray for the family, who's the bereaved family, who's in sort of a tumultuous situation right now, being able to cry and deal with what they have to deal with. So that's sad. I often think about that, man. I don't want to get mad sentimental with you, but I often think about that. We had a friend. She went to 8 Mile High School with us. And I probably told you this story years ago. She went to 8 Mile High School with us. She lived in 8 Mile. She lived in what we used to call Little Haiti. Okay, so I think everybody got a Little Haiti. Just like a Little China, we had a Little Haiti in Hannah Hill, right? And it was just like 2 corners away from where I lived. Now, Susie has commandeered, if you know a Grand Bahama, Susie has commandeered this kind of a corner between us, right? And way down at the northern side, she got this kind of a Susie Mart. They call it Susie Mart. This big place she does wholesale stuff. You remember the story. The former Prime Minister Ingram went down there one time, and he couldn't understand exactly what y'all was making noise for. So anyway, it was early one morning, right? The quiet of the community. 8 Mile Rock is one of those places, is a transient place. So you move from 8 Mile Rock to a job in the city in Freeport. This has happened for years. So for the majority of the time, especially when there was, jobs happening and things just moving in the city, 8 Mile Rock would be quiet in the mornings. All right. So around 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, nobody home, everybody to work. So my grandmother and I was at home, and Grammy was watching. It was The Price is Right. The Price is Right. And 8 Mile people, we got all the doors open, right? So we just sitting down, and my grandmother and I is talking. I love sitting down talking to my grandmother. So we sitting down talking. I cleaning up and doing everything like that, and got all the doors spread open. My wife don't like that. Why you always have the 8 Mile people always open the door? Yeah, because ain't nobody coming in here to thief. So the doors can be open. Now, in the midst of this, there was like an eerie calm. It's like an unfamiliar, eerie calm that fell. And dogs start howling. And you could hear the Haitians in the corner, in the back. You could hear them wailing. Now, you don't necessarily know this experience if you don't live around like a shanty town or something like that. But there is a wail that comes from them. And they started to wail one morning. And I guess I said, Grammy, hold on, wait. I turned on the television. I said, you hear that? And you could hear the wail. That's how it is. Right? And it was kind of reverberating, and you could hear it floating on the wind. And it filled the area up, right? Because they almost are like a half a mile away from us. Or maybe a quarter mile. It wasn't that far, right? So, and it started to kind of just carry on the wind, despite the fact that it was like calm. So I said, I coming right back. I jump on my car. I drove through every one of the corners. And I finally get through Little Haiti corner. This is more of the eastern side where they used to sell shoes. And I get through there, and my classmate on the floor, deceased. So I said, what happened? Right? The fella came in there. I don't know. They had a dispute. And he pulled out a knife and took her life, just like that, from ear to ear, like that. And she's laying on the floor, and I saw I don't want to be graphic with you. I'm just getting to a point. Right? And she was laying on the floor, and I saw it. And you can see that she was preparing for dinner. You could see that she take out some chicken and other things like that to thaw out. And this is what we can eat later. And it's just an amazing thing for me how life is, that we have great expectations. And based on the rhythm of our minds and what our expectations are for the next step of our lives, that we intend to get to this point. But there is a space that you can't pass. There is a door that takes you into the afterlife, and your body is left right there. And that day is coming for every one of us. Isn't that crazy? My father-in-law had a very good friend. He was ailing with some issues. And, we knew that he was sick. And one morning, maybe about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, he said to his wife, let's go down to Xanadu Beach. I won't go to the beach. Let's go to the beach. Now, he didn't feel well. So she said, okay, no problem. I guess he won't go to the beach and feel the water. Man, he walked in the water. This is the story they tell me. He walked in the water. And she says that he dived in. Dush. Right? So he walk out, hit waist deep, and then he dived in. Dush. And he never came back up. There is a portal, a door of transition. There is a threshold, a time that is appointed to each and every one of us, whether we're conscious of it or we're not. There's a time that's coming that you're going to have to pay the piper, that you're going to have to meet your maker, that your time here on earth will be done. And that's hard. As I read this story, as I identify these particular things, as I sort of empathize with the family of the loved ones, of the persons who've actually lost their lives in this crash. This is a difficult time. It speaks to sort of a charged environment that's happening from a global standpoint, because we've seen planes been dropping out the air. That's crazy from a global standpoint. And now we're seeing this kind of a visit at home. And it hurts. It hurts if you are in this sort of a space of recognition, if you are sensitive enough and charged enough to understand that there's a shift about. You got to be able to take these things into account. I just wanted to kind of say that to you. As I read the story and I ingest the information, this is the interpretation. The interpretation is that we know that death is inevitable. Sometimes it's sudden. It's unexpected. One of the things that we used to do when I was young, my grandmother would pray with us, and she taught us this prayer: keep me from danger, sudden death, and destruction. And as I grew, I had to mature to understand this kind of a sudden death and destruction, right? The sudden death and destruction. And I had a very clear understanding that sometimes we transition unexpectedly. Well, I continue to be able to pray for Emma. I continue to be able to pray for Mr. Adley in his particular capacity. And I pray for these families. I pray for them. May the souls of the faithful, through the mercy of God, rest in peace and rise in glory. Let me take this quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen, and get right back after this.
Excuse me for my interruption. Boy, come under a great reminder to say, this coming Friday, and please come over the lawn. You went to the man number one sound round town. And it's a Friday evening. Bim! The people them tired of working. Lord, them hear the disco playing. Bim! It make them feel like dancing. Ain't no summer say. Brita will be greater with the disco operator. 5-18 and a 6-tweeter. This is DJ Talk Sweeter. Still on him just up with the echo chamber. Watch your man. Play the play.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Mamas, are you ready? Keep the vibe alive. Music group, along with Alpha Sounds, present the best of the best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded. This is the biggest one-day all-Bohemian concert of the year. Featuring KB, D-Mac, Abby, Mama D, Fan Sean, Shine 242, and more. Mark your calendars. It's going down November the 2nd at Super Club Racers Ground. Tickets now available at BahamasEtickets.com or both Beauty Shack locations. General admission $60. VIP, Skybox, and Skypods also available. For more info, call 394-0819 or email keepthevibealive242@gmail.com. Experience the magic once again with more legends for one night only. Come party with us November 2nd at Best of the Best. Rake and Scrape Explosion Reloaded.
Are you tired of the same old 5K runs? Want something more? Then get ready for the Chick Charney Challenge City Run on September 28th, starting at Crypto Wild. Test your strength, stamina, and spirit. It takes all of you to dodge, climb, conquer obstacles as you race through the heart of the city. Lace up and get to the Chick Charney Challenge City Run. Register now on our website, chickcharneychurn.com, or on our social media pages. Brought to you by Colina, Island Yogurt, Advantage Insurance, Art of Graphics, Crypto Wild, and Guardian Radio 96.9.
Excuse me for my interruption. Boy, come under a great reminder to say, this coming Friday, and please come over the lawn. You went to the man number one sound round town. And it's a Friday evening. Bim! The people them tired of working. Lord, them hear the disco playing. Bim! It make them feel like dancing. Ain't no summer say. Brita will be greater with the disco operator. 5-18 and a 6-tweeter. This is DJ Talk Sweeter. Still on him just like.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, the foundation, live and in full effect. The F&M is protesting against Grand Mountain Port Authority, Power Company. The F&M. Oh, Jesus, God, somebody. Listen. I'm gonna allow decency to come in the room today. Today we're gonna name Garth Roseborough Decency. Hopefully he can be decent. As I do my best to pull back the throttle on having this kind of not today.
Not today.
Not today.
It's Friday the 13th.
Ladies
There's
and gentlemen, this
nothing
man
holy
trying to
today.
get wild. He need to calm down. Garth Roseborough, my brother, it is good to see you. We see you kicking off on Sunday.
Yeah, kicking it off is correct.
Let everybody know what you're doing.
Talk a little bit about, marriage and sex.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
The demon
Let's
within.
talk about you and sex, the demon within.
I said marriage and sex.
Which is the demon?
The
Sex or
demon within.
marriage?
Well, you got to listen in to find out, but I'll tell you one thing. 50% of the people that get married end up in divorce, right? And then you have people that remain that still have their issues, separate bedrooms, separate lives, married together for the wrong reasons. And then maybe that's just possibly why in our electoral system,
Let's talk about
we got the same
good
issues. If you look at marriage in our country and you look at politics, they both suffer from the same demon.
The demon within.
It's a demon within.
My God.
And I'm going to show you how that works
On Sunday at 5 o'clock.
on Sunday at 5 o'clock.
Ladies and gentlemen, you got to tune in to find out about this demon within. Maybe you get some clarity and understand why you living in the guest room. Ladies, let me take this telephone call.
You ain't being decent today.
Let me take this telephone call.
At the doghouse.
Call on the line. It's live. Go ahead.
Mr. Grant,
Hey, how you doing?
good afternoon.
How you doing, my brother?
My respect for the two individuals that get killed, I think it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
All I can say, heaven help us all. There's so much things that are taking place in the Bahamas and throughout the universe. The other day, about 200 little children in Vietnam get overflow with water and stuff like that. We are living in some serious time, and man is still acknowledging the Creator. Heaven help us all. When you go to the bank, the pressure's on you.
Mm.
People that, when you look around and people don't have a home sometime in the night to go home to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reason why I wonder, how could one out of success will try to gain more from the poor? And the poor will go to bed not knowing where they're going to rise up that next morning to get something for their children to eat. And when you look, you see how the government is giving the school them to train them. I believe some of them reach the school early enough to make sure they get something to eat. Mr. Grant, this is a serious time. And when the Bible says, those that who are plentiful must help those that don't have none. But when we look, the more we get, long as our family, we have, that we can travel the world. But what about our brothers and sisters?
Yes.
We have, see, and when you look this little Bahamas is so small that we can help one another. We attempt to push down one another. We attempt to come sometime and just talk about who is sissy and who is homosexual and that thing, instead of we be the extending hand of God. God is not coming down to give to these individuals. That's what He have us here for. He created us to help our brothers and sisters that are able to make it. And it's so strange that, those people, if they only to know that if they go on that plane, what was going to happen yesterday, or they wouldn't have gone. But that's how it is. God did not design for mankind to know their end. Mm-hmm. Thank you so kindly.
I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, please be a part of the conversation. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere for the family of islands, 242-300-5720, or hit me up, 422-4796. I feel like sometimes I get sentimental on the show. I feel like sometimes I do. I feel like sometimes I don't imagine the people that listen to me. I just don't. I sit here and I talk to the microphone.
Yeah,
I
but
don't think.
You did the right thing. It came from your heart. You see, and that's what people don't understand. That people that most of the times that practice good virtue, it's because they have a good heart. Everyone is not evil. Everyone is not bad. Everyone is not out to get you. Everyone is not out to pull you down. There are actually people in this world who are here to simply pull people up. The issue that people like you may find, though, is that as you pull people up, the people that you're pulling up are the ones who try to tear you down. And I think the caller just now was basically sharing that with us from his heart, that this is the type of environment that we're facing in our country. There's so many people here that want to assist everyone else in making this country extremely great, caring and loving, but there's so many other people who don't just simply appreciate you.
I believe we're born in sin. This is historically my belief, based upon what we've read, ingested, and understood from a biblical standpoint. But I do believe that indecency is a learned trait.
You think so?
Yeah. Despite your sin, despite what you've been developed in or birthed into, indecency is a learned trait. This nasty, stinking ways that people have, that's not just a natural thing. You could see in children, despite the fact that they're born in sin, they hail each other. Hi, how you doing? Hi. And then you grow and you realize, I don't really like people. I never wanted to hail this one anyhow.
Okay, so there's what we call a normal lifestyle, yes? And then there's the celebrity or the superstar lifestyle. So at what point would you say that a politician learns to be indecent? Is that learned, or that was always within, or that's a desire that they've always had deep within?
Grown men
and
don't
women.
take on grown men and women don't take on attributes of an environment and shift their concept unless that this is something that was in them, unless that the beacon of indecency exists within them and shines bright.
That's all I'm saying.
All it was dull. All it was is that the indecency, we couldn't see it because they weren't in the limelight. And as they polish themselves and become on their ascent to a position, then the indecency comes out.
Okay, watch this then. Growing up, I grew up at Baptist Bible Church. Good old Baptist boy, right? Went to church every Sunday. And I was a very devout Christian. At age 11, I found out that the male genitalia wasn't only for urination. Something funny was going on down there. So at the age of 11, no one had to tell me this. I wanted to be a porn star. I just wanted to let loose and let God go. Just do what you got to do. Just let the beast loose. There was something within me that just had to get out. Is that learned? Is that natural? Or is that just simply my environment? Because the Bahamian women look good. The young girls was looking good. And every time I see a tree that looked like a woman, I felt something going on. So what do you call that?
Sin.
So is that my sinful nature? Is that me born in sin? Or is that something that I'm learning to do?
As we develop, as we grow, this can be a deep conversation. I can see this. I can feel it.
And these are the type of things I like to talk about. So I apologize for coming on your show to talk about these things.
I'm
But
not gonna
this is
fight
this is our Sunday vibes, our family time. We can talk about these things to see why our country is the way it is.
Okay.
So go ahead. Let me see.
So as we matriculate, I often, this is how I think. This is how I've read this book. I've read this book called The Seasons of a Man's Life. And it dissects your seasons, right? So from 0 to 7, and then from 8 to, I think, is about 14, right? And then it continues to be able to chop it up as you get into an older age. And it could show you the seasons and the cycles that we go through. And I often think about a quote that I heard from a Catholic priest that indicates that we don't need a child. And it was horrible that I heard it during the time that the church was, the accusations was levied against the church. Relentless accusations about these things. About sexual accusations and sexual assaults and so forth and so on was levied against the Catholic Church from a global perspective, right? And as I looked at it, I heard this quote, and they say, we don't need a child forever. Just give us a child between the ages of 0 and 7. And whatever we teach them between the ages of 0 and 7, this is what they will carry with them for the rest of their lives.
Okay.
Right? Now, you would think on the surface, church, this would be a good thing. But then the accusations caused me to kind of look deeper. Jesus, what y'all teaching these children? Right? So I look at it, I say, Jesus, what y'all teaching these children? This is too much. Right? So I say, this is too much. Right? So I'm looking at this, and I think to myself, with my learning and my growing and understanding, I realize that between the ages of infancy as a baby to the ages of around 10, 11 years old, when we step into our we have been fostering and developing an idea. Whether subtle or pronounced, we've been developing an idea. And that idea often leads us to our nature, unless it's an opponent that fights that nature, that pours in idea to move in a different direction. Unless you have somebody strong and say, well, God ain't want you to do that. And then you have that relationship that pull you away from that. Every single young boy found that out at the same time, around the same time. Every one of us. Every one of us. My son, at one point, my God, thank God he grew and he in the bathroom for 3 hours, sir.
Oh, help me. Friday the 13th.
Sir.
It only can be Friday the 13th.
What are you doing in here? Right? And now I got to talk to him.
So-
My daddy never talked to me about this.
So what did he say? He was praying?
Listen to me. My daddy never talked to me about this.
Having a word?
My daddy never talked to me about this. He never. Because I was in the bathroom for a long time.
Okay, I'm listening.
You understand? And I think that same pursuit. But because of understanding, because of revelation, because of studies, I have to let him know. And he's old enough and he's mature enough spiritually to understand these things. Now, he's still inquisitive, but I have to explain to him that this is a portal, that this tugging and yanking on yourself, amen. This is a great piece of-
Hallelujah. Go ahead.
This here is the opening of a gateway and makes you susceptible into an environment and prepares you for something that you ain't called for. This is not to be, you can't do this like this. And now, I can't tell him, I don't know if he's doing it or he ain't doing it. Because as men, after you taste a little pleasure, you keep pursuing that.
Yeah, you got to go deeper.
You keep pursuing that because
Yes.
you will know more. However, someone got to tell you this wrong. Someone got to tell you this is wrong.
But I think in our mind, we knew it was wrong, but that's what made it so sweet.
That's what sin is.
Yeah.
This is wrong.
Yeah, but
Now, as men, we figure this is the coming of age. You're getting older, well, you got to find yourself. And then in our society, people will say things like, after you finish tugging on yourself, they say things like, well, you got to sow your royal oats. All this perpetuation of sin. All this is the same thing. All this is stupidity and foolishness that we've never tried to dissect and see what it says and being able to divorce ourselves of these ideas. All we did is perpetuate the same juvenile teenage lust that transitioned with us into maturity.
But we need lust. We need attraction. We need these forces. You're talking about the management of these forces, but there are over 4 billion people in the world that all of us came here by way of this very same act. Whether you were married or you were single, whether it was at a party or whether it wasn't, this is how we get here. We don't get here by a spaceship. We don't get here by the Immaculate Conception. We get here because we do the do.
I know in Corinthians, I think it's 1 Corinthians chapter 7.
Look at how we're trying to be holy on Friday the 13th. Go ahead.
No, I'm trying to be decent.
Okay, listen.
I read this portion that engaged me as a young Christian, right? But I was already married, so praise God. But if I wasn't married, my God, somebody's going to get ravaged. I just want to say that today, right? But I read this, it says, if your woman have passed the flower of her time, do with her what you will, you sin not. Right? And I read that and I interpret that if you make a commitment to this woman, right? And you love her and you seek to be able to move beyond there, and her flower has already blossomed.
I hear you.
And you have need, do with her what you will, you sin not. This is what I read.
Okay.
I said, oh my God. Now, I had some friends, all us was Christian together, but we reading this text all day, trying to dissect this to see if this saying to me that if I make a commitment that I could move forward with these particular things.
Well, all this is based on your faith in Christianity from a Roman era perspective, Greco-Roman world. And then the other guy comes here who's Muslim. He's going to have a different belief. The Rastafarian may have a different belief. You have so many different beliefs that may say to you and challenge you on this particular situation.
But the only belief that matters is yours.
Well, this is what I believe.
That's what I'm saying. The only belief that matters is
But
yours.
this is what is covered.
That's
Howard
wrapped
Grant.
in your conviction. That's it. You don't have to fight with nobody else for who they believe and what they believe. I don't understand people who fight with people who believe. The only thing that matters is what you believe.
So
now, the problem when we have in our society is that a lot of people don't stand firm on anything. And they are, like a great deal of us, looking for God.
You think so?
I'm telling you, they're looking for God.
You think so?
Every single man looking for God. Every single man in our DNA understand that there's supremacy above us. And we want to be able to yield ourselves to that supremacy. And we wrestle with the idea of science. We wrestle with the idea of whether or not we can incorporate our carnality, our comforts into this religion, whether or not we have to shift for this religion. We wrestle with these ideas.
So no one has established whether God says a woman could have 2 husbands or a man could have 2 wives. No one has really established that.
Yeah, they've already established that.
No, someone established that, and some people may follow that establishment, but it's still open for someone to establish as a religion.
You either gravitate towards carnality and pleasure by being able to pursue mammon,
But
or
carnality,
you gravitate towards supremacy and this sort of
but that's based on
disposition of
that's
where
based
God,
on your understanding. Once again, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, but you have to know. You and I.
No, only you need to know. No one else needs to know other than you.
What I mean is you.
Me?
I also mean me.
Yeah.
Understand what I say? I don't mean Garth. I mean the individual in pursuit. The individual in pursuit has to know whether he or she is going contrary
to what?
To what their natural instincts say. This is
The
wrong.
natural instinct of most of these men on the street is go be fruitful and multiply.
You wilding out, sir. We can get into deep the conversation today. 323-623-325-4316. 325-4259. Anywhere for the family of islands. 242-300-5720. Or hit me up 422-4796. I see your calls. Take this break. Be right back after this.
Tired of working. Lord, them hear the disco playing. Bim! It make them feel like dancing. Roger, man.
It's back to school season, and Wendy's is bringing it in with a special treat. For a limited time, receive a free apple pie with the purchase of a biggie bag. Choose from Dave's single or chicken sandwich, junior fries, 4-piece nuggets, a 20-ounce drink, and a free apple pie on us. This offer won't last long, so visit your nearest Wendy's and grab your biggie bag and free apple pie today.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
Right here in sunny Bahamas at Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. You will want to tune in every Sunday, 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. starting September 15th. I, Garth Minard Roseborough, will bring you a program where your opinions meet the facts, where fiction meets reality. I welcome you. September 15th, Guardian Radio Remark, 96.9 FM, Bahamas.
So much things to say right now. They got so much things to say.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, De Gregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call Representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything today in the Nassau Guardian.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Excuse me for the interruption. Boy, come. Another quick reminder to say, this coming Friday, and a police gonna over the lawn. You went to the man number 1 sound around town. This so Friday.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company, the foundation, here live and in full effect, September 13th, Friday the 13th. You're wilding out. You're wilding out. It's a beautiful day, guys. Be decent today. My God. Don't do nothing strange for some change today. You might get catch. Amen.
You think any babies born today, Friday 13th, for instance, Margaret Hospital?
Babies born every day.
The birthday beef like on the baby.
No, well, it'll be seasonal.
Yeah.
I think every one of us can catch
You
that.
think anybody can name the child Freddie?
Frederick?
Yeah, Freddie.
Of course. Frederick.
Little demon baby. Yeah.
You need to stop, sir.
You know, just get a baby gin when they're young, right?
I don't know that.
They put them to sleep.
Really?
Yeah, babies still doing that foolishness. That's why they try them drinking, collect, and get us.
When we were young,
on
they
Sunday
used
morning.
to give the babies cornstarch.
Cornstarch?
Corn syrup.
Flour poppy.
No, corn syrup.
What that does for you?
They used to put it directly in the formula.
What that do for you?
But that was just to sweeten the thing.
Sweeten it?
Yeah, just to make the babies prepare for diabetes, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah, we had a lot of diabetes.
That's all it was. It put this heavy corn syrup that looked like.
Those babies
And I
don't
know
make-
this because I had to make the bottles when I was young.
You made
They
bottles?
of course, I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest child too?
I'm the oldest of my mother's children.
Oh, that's what happened.
I'm the oldest of my mother's
That's why
children.
you get that brain. All right, gotcha. I mean, I'm the firstborn too. That's why I say
Yeah.
that.
So you have to put corn syrup in the thing, right? And it was heavy, it was thick like molasses, right?
Mhm.
Like crude oil, and you put it in there and shake it up, and you give the baby that. And I remember Grammy giving the baby a little shot.
That makes the baby
give
active,
the
eh?
baby a little shot.
Like just active.
No, that would make the baby go to sleep. If the baby was crying too much. No, the corn syrup was.
I thought the sugar would have kept them going.
No, I'm talking about the shot. I'm talking about the rum.
Oh, the rum put you to sleep, yeah.
Yeah, the rum would put the babies to sleep. If they're crying too much, they would normally put just less than a capful in the bottle.
Uh-huh.
The baby drink that, go on sleep.
Go on sleep. Now, don't give them no aristocrat, though. The baby turn
But
into a
aristocrat
demon.
just reach.
Yeah.
They used to get
I
rat bat.
just want them not to do that.
They used to get rat
I've
bat.
seen what aristocrat could do to you. An aristocrat turn you out, boy. But Howard, it's good
This
to
is
be in your
not-
company, man. Howard, you're looking good. Thank you for inviting me once again. Ladies and gentlemen, I came here today only because Howard and I had a very interesting conversation last night about leadership. You know, Howard likes to talk about leadership. He likes to talk about the foundation and rebuilding the country. And Howard, if I can recall, you can recap if you'd like. I enjoy coming on your show. But I do believe that if an organization lacks leadership and has not made proper preparation to bring about the birth of new leaders, a succession of leaders, that I don't care how old it is, can face extinction. And Howard is saying that there are certain organizations, and let's talk politics, let's get to politics now. The organizations that we know, the Progressive Liberal Party and the Free National Movement, are organizations that Howard said to me at this point could never die.
We had a complex conversation yesterday.
No.
Right? Backstory.
That's
We
why
had
I
a
said you recap.
We had a complex conversation yesterday. We started to talk about this sort of an idea that the second party, right, the second force in this country from a political standpoint, which is the FNM, at this particular juncture right now, is sort of lackluster in their particular capacity. So he and I started to talk like this, right? And as he wanted to delve deeper. He said, Howard, the only belief that we have is that we have to eradicate this entirely. We have to eradicate the FNM entirely. So I said, that's absolutely impossible. And so he gave me an example of how this can happen in a different space, right? He gave me an example about a burger joint. What did you give me? What was it?
It was Kodak or Polaroid.
Kodak or Polaroid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he gave me an example of how they were eradicated despite the fact that they were very strong, right?
Yeah.
How many stores you say they had?
No, man, they had like 1,800 employees or something like that.
180,000, something like this. There's a lot.
It was a whole lot. 180,000 employees around the world.
Around the world, right?
Yeah.
But now you have to...
And 85% to 90% of the world had their product in their hand.
Okay, so let's do this. So now I had to contrast the fact that Kodak is a part of a bigger system, which is the world. Kodak at 180,000, in contrast to 7 billion people, 180,000 ain't nothing to talk about. That can easily be diluted. That could be washed in no time at all. Okay, it could happen with any one of these mega companies, especially where their finances may not necessarily stand strong as the way that they want to. Right? If they build their,
They were a monopoly.
Despite the fact that they could be a monopoly, their monopoly could only. You can't have a monopoly globally. You only can have a monopoly in your confined space.
Yeah, but I'm saying to you, the reason why they died was because while you had the monopoly, you cannot feel so superior that you do not need to rebrand. You have to continue to rebrand and renew yourself and renew your outlook and renew your image. And marketing is so your sales, and they fail to do that. That's
When
what
you
I'm
start to
simply
talk
saying.
about monopoly, it's almost impossible to have that conversation globally. You could say that you were the first out the gate, that you are the first one with the technology, that you are an innovator, that you are a forerunner in this particular sector, but you can never have the monopoly, because as soon as you come up with this concept and it working, how much Ring doorbells right now, after they rejected this, how much Ring doorbells right now? They don't have the monopoly on it. All they did was introduce it to the market first. However, when you start to talk about a small subsector of people, like the Bahamas, which is 400,000 people, for the sake of the conversation, we can say it's 400,000 people. The Free National Movement could never die. They represent 45% of those people voting that the legacy that it's etched deep within their families will vote for the Free National Movement. The Free National Movement in this country could never die. They have to self-inflict death.
Well, that's what they're doing.
No, that's what you assume. That ain't what they're doing. That's what you assume they're doing.
So, okay, well, give me 5 strong leaders right now active in the FNM. Let me hear that. 5 strong people you can look at between now and the next 15, 20 years. Show me the 20-year leadership of the FNM. Let me hear this.
We took this conversation deep yesterday.
Yeah, but let me hear that.
And I told you yesterday that there are technocrats who support leadership. And I said to you that I just had a conversation with my daughter, and I said to my daughter, there are people right now that are going off to school for years to prepare themselves to work for someone. And people who have innovation, creativity, ideas, many of them drop out of school or never go to school. And they employ those technocrats to be able to bring that dream they have out of the cloud. I'm getting somewhere with you. Let me get there.
I like it. I like it.
I need to get one more minute before we get out of here. The fact of the matter is this. The FNM is awash with technocrats.
Okay.
With capable, articulate, insightful people who are prepared to do what they have to do where they're called. The issue is, for the most part, and it could be argued even with Hubert Ingram, that he is a technocrat turned leader based upon the desperation or the necessity the organization had, as opposed to a leader genuinely being able to pop out. And the FNM is awash with technocrats. Insightful, articulate, they are ingenious people. However, no one leader I can identify in the FNM or in the PLP at this time that has the capability and the wherewithal. Now, a lot of us start to talk about charisma and people coming to you. No. They do not have the gravitas to stand on their own as leaders.
I differ.
Of course you do. That's why we have
We'll
this
talk about
conversation.
it after the news. I differ. And I hope they call in and tell me that they agree with me, but we'll see after the break.
You want them to agree with you?
Of course. Because they know just as much as I
listen,
do.
as I stretch my
Your
theory,
rod, the rod of
as
Aaron,
I stretch
or the
my
rod of
theory
Moses?
left from east to west, it's going to be hard to agree with you. Let me get this quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be right back after this.
And it's a Friday evening. Bim! The people them tired of working. Lord, them hear the disco playing. Bim!
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Excuse me for my interruption. Boy, come. Another quick reminder to say, this coming Friday, and a police gonna over the lawn. You went to the man number 1 sound round town. And it's a Friday.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company. Got a call from my good friend Ephraim Jones this morning. Said, Howard, let the people know that we got some good okra soup down here. If you're in the mood for some good okra soup, go down to the Garden of Eden. It's located out there on Prince Charles, Jessica and Elizabeth Estate, just across the street from Elizabeth Estate. It's oh God, I can't remember that subdivision name right there from Elizabeth Estate.
That's Eastwood.
Eastwood, right? You go right up there and Tulip. and Tulip Lane, you take a left, take another left, and you can be able to get right there to Garden of Eden. Got everything available for you. Check them out. They're on Facebook. They got the number there. You can be able to call them. Call Mr. Jones. He say he got okra soup. So if you're in there for that, I normally go there for Saturday mornings. I never take you for breakfast down there. Hey, you got to go down there.
You know I live far.
Yeah, you live on the next side of the island.
Yeah, I live far.
Yeah, but that's
it's time I get this time for lunch.
I ain't gonna lie to you. It's worth the drive.
I hear you.
That's
I love to leave 5 o'clock in the morning.
Sunday traffic ain't that bad. Sunday traffic ain't that bad, guys. When we left off, we were talking about some good stuff. We're sitting here with none other than Garth Roseborough getting himself prepared for his show on Sunday, Remark, at 5 from 5 o'clock until about 6:30. And they're going to be doing that. And we started to, touch on it at the top of the show. There's kind of concepts and ideas that he's going to be able to bring out there. But he wanted to talk politics. So, yeah, all right, let's shift the mood. You want to talk politics? Let's talk politics.
Yeah.
Now, you put some things on the table.
Well, I got some
and
people,
I tell you, we got to dissect.
I got people coming on the show on Sunday. I got Christy Miller. I got Charles Sawyer. I got Precious. She's going to be there. Possibly Rudolph Straw. And it's a full show because it's a very delicate subject matter. But it does affect our nation, so we got to deal with it.
Uncle say you coming on too?
Yeah.
Uncle's going to be coming on,
Yeah.
okay? Okay, so this is going to be good.
I want one of just perspective and trying to get things right. But it's going to be extremely provocative and very deep.
On a Sunday?
Yeah.
A lot of people in their church clothes.
Yeah, because if you miss church on Sunday, then I'll put you in church Sunday evening. That's
Jesus.
the whole idea.
Praise God. I'm not going to fight
But
you.
we can be playing some nice music too, to just soften it down a little bit, because this is going to be very hard.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a tough show. Got to put some tenderize in that. So you can have some nice, smooth music to keep
I'm going to
you
listen
mellow.
in.
Well, I hope to have you on the show soon, very soon. As a matter of fact, you may like the following show, and I'll tell you more about that later. But
Okay.
I think you'd love the following show.
Okay.
But Howard Grant, I listened to you and your spiel before the break. And I want the people to call in. Howard Grant will give you the numbers. But listen to what I'm saying. If your organization lacks leadership, there are no leaders in sight that I can see that would give the Bahamian people the type of leadership that they deserve. I'm talking about one word here, respect. You spoke, I think you did an excellent job, because you mentioned something, whereas the ability to recruit and to include, to become inclusive, as it were.
We talked about this.
So my thing is that I do not see the inclusivity that would attract a Garth Roseborough to the FNM at this time. I don't see Howard Grant, being a learned person, being attracted to the FNM this time. Now, the Progressive Liberal Party also has its issues. We all have issues. I have issues too. But what I'm saying is, in identifying moving forward, since that we're going into electoral season, and you are about to go through each constituency and tell us exactly who's worthy of sitting in that seat to represent these people. And I got a call late last night from South Andres. A lot of them ain't happy right now.
I need some more.
So we got to go
numbers,
through.
numbers.
So we got to go through these constituencies to find out what's really going on. But in the organizational structure, I cannot identify the future of the FNM at this time. Now they have a class going on, and that class is full of people who are aspiring to be. And I cannot recognize a name in the class publicly mentioned anywhere as anyone who has gone into their community, represented their people, done anything commendable for their community to say, I want to represent you and build this community. I don't know of any names.
Leadership don't necessarily have to have a tracking device.
But the main people require it. We need it.
You don't need a tracking device
need
for
it.
leadership. You just need to know that it exists when it presents itself.
Okay, so is it presenting itself now?
Now, that's the conversation that we had. The conversation that we had is whether or not we see the leadership in the Free National Movement or in the PLP at this particular time, more specifically in the Free National Movement. As we look at this and we dissect it, like I said to you, the Free National Movement is a wash with technocrats. These are learned people. They are doctors, they are lawyers, they are politicians, they are preachers, they are teachers, they are all manner of things.
You know what that sounds like to me?
These smart people.
Yeah, but you know what that sounds like to me?
These are smart people.
That sounds like a retirement home.
No.
Or like a country club.
No.
That's what it sounds like to me.
No.
Okay, so if you're a
These are
technocrat
smart people.
and you're not active in leadership, then what are you?
Waiting.
Waiting for what?
Leadership.
So let me tell you why I have a problem with that. Because when you say the word waiting to me, it shows a disrespect for the Bahamian people, because the Bahamian people cannot wait any longer. These people need action today.
The Bahamian people, they don't do anything other than wait. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think we're prepared to do that any longer.
It don't matter what we think. The fact of the matter is that we've been in a stagnant position for over 50 years. The last time we've seen significant movement is when we saw the Union Jack fall and the flag raised. The last time, let me be decent. The last time that we've been able to see a significant movement in this country is with the opening of the airways and with the transition of one government after 25 years of the PLP reigns and seeing the Free National Movement being able to come into this position. That's the last time that we've seen that. You understand? We are a people that wait. We wait. We wait for your political organization to get it right. We give you 5 years. You don't get it right, we switch it. We give you 5 years. You don't get it right, we switch it.
So let me ask you a
We
question.
only wait. That's it.
So, okay. So if you, let's say God forbid, but your organization has lost the last election, you lose in this election, and you lose in the following election. That's 15 years of losses. Are the Bahamian people people who affiliate themselves with any organization that has a losing record?
No political organization in this country will have a 15-year loss record. Not at this point.
So you tell me they'd vote for anybody else,
Not at
even
this
if they're
point.
non-effective?
Yes, they will.
So that's why the FNM feels they have a chance for 2026? That's what you're telling me?
But that's why the FNM nor the PLP is eager to be able to show you a plan and commit themselves to that. That's why the FNM and the PLP could take on this posture and position. More specifically, let's talk about the PLP, who's just recently said that campaign finance reform is not a priority. That the PLP in their posture and position and the chairman that could come out to be able to say very clearly that there's the philosophical difference that exists within the FNM and the PLP is not necessarily gravitating towards this right now. That's why. You know why? Because there's no agitation from the people. And the only thing that the people continue to do is wait. They don't activate. They don't stand up. They don't speak up. They don't send a letter to their representative. They don't march together and hold their hands. They wait. They wait for voices like Lincoln Bean. They wait for voices that come from the wilderness and hopefully can lead us to a particular position. The Bahamian people wait. The political organizations that are 70 years old in this country and 50 years old, they know you better than you know yourself. That's like demons in your family.
Oh.
They didn't know you long time.
Oh.
You just reach.
Oh.
And all you got is a vote. But the demons been here before you and they know how your family does go. That's all this is. So as you sit in this posture in your position, as you continue to agitate and dissect organizations about their lackluster or their lack of leadership, you have to remember, just like you, just like them, we, the collective, only wait.
Jesus.
That's all it is. You fighting me today.
I gotta fight you. You see, you
But I ain't lying
demon.
to you. I ain't lying to you. You telling me about an optimism. You telling me about 2 elections from now, suppose somebody lose. That's not going to happen in this country. Not in this country, not now. That got to be a catastrophic event. That got to be a Hiroshima from a political standpoint to be able to eradicate things for them to lose. That ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen. You cannot get rid of the FNM, and you definitely can't get rid of the PLP.
So we lock.
You lock it. You better be locked and loaded.
We locked. As a nation, we locked.
That's it.
And the people like being locked.
That's it.
They love this.
I don't know if they love it, but you got to stand it. I don't care how much you like oatmeal. Somebody tell you this can sustain your body. Ain't got nothing else to eat. Hungry dog will eat raw corn. Open your mouth. And you're going to swallow that.
Man,
you ain't got nothing else to do. You got no options. What you gonna do? Sprinkle shepherd needle over the top of your oatmeal to make it look like parsley? But just all you got is oatmeal. You got to eat that, baby.
Howard, I don't
If you're
like
hungry,
it. Howard, I don't like it.
that's all you got.
I don't like it, Howard.
That's why someone wants to be able to agitate and say, well, we could be a third force in the country.
No, I don't.
But you come with ulterior motives. You come there, hope that the PLP or the FNM can be able to see you. It ain't real. None of this real. Let me take a telephone call. Lines light right up. Jesus, like it's Christmas. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How you doing? How you doing?
And good afternoon to God.
My good friend, good afternoon.
I'm great and extremely grateful.
You sound good. You sound
one
good.
One or two questions. I think God probably would like this question. Which is easier, to lead or to mislead?
I like it. Answer, Howard. He's asking the
Mislead.
question.
Mislead.
It's easier to mislead than it is to lead?
Of course. Because
What if I say? What if I say?
You gotta let me stretch it for 2 seconds. To mislead is a part of your natural nature, which is sin. As you continue to be able to go, it's easier for you to gravitate towards something that you could fabricate, as opposed to being able to identify the strength within, the conviction to make a step in towards leadership. Mislead will always rule the day.
But do you realize that anyone could lead 30,000 people, even if you're an idiot? Anybody?
No, that's
You don't believe
absolutely
that?
incorrect.
So why is
You got to be 30,000 idiots to be led by an idiot.
you could find them. You could find them easy.
Jesus Christ.
They here.
Go ahead,
caller.
Go ahead, caller.
All right, the second question, based on your answer, Howard, if it's easy to mislead, is leadership?
Yes. The root
So
word,
whether
the
you've
base
been
word, the
misled or
compound
you've
word is a compound word. You mislead.
So whether you've been misled or you've been led, you've still been led, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
So I'm asking you this based on the conversation that you've been having. And so maybe you ought to think, are we being led or misled? I'll hang up and
I like
listen
it.
to the rest of your
I like you. I like your conversation. I like your contribution. I'm from the perspective of what, because Garth gave me criteria. Garth, stop it, Garth. You gave me criteria. You start to specify. You gave me specificity about the lackluster leadership, about what the Bahamian people expects, about all these particular things. And based upon that, based upon your criteria, I indicate that there isn't this leader that you kind of hope for or dream. There isn't this leader. There are technocrats who have transitioned seamlessly into a position of leadership. There are technocrats who have transitioned into a position of leadership. If you want to get deep with this, you could identify Perry Christie, you could identify Hubert Ingram, and they're glorified managers who transitioned into a position of leadership. And they're identified as the last of the Mohicans from a leadership standpoint in our country. But if we go to the base of who they were, their leadership, they decided one day not to genuflect to the leader, Hubert Ingram. And they were fired. Hubert Ingram never went back. He got an opportunity, and Perry Christie, hat in hand, again, I guess that's the first time it happened, hat in hand, and swam back through his vomit to take on a position to lead the PLP.
Dwayne Sanders got fired. You can next caller. I just got to throw it out there.
Caller on your line. Caller on the line. This man tried to kill me today. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing?
What's up, Anton?
Oh, my boy.
How are you doing?
I like right here, my brother.
Good afternoon. And congratulations on your show, God.
Thank you, my friend.
May God bless it, and may it continue to grow as you launch on this coming Sunday.
Thank you.
Good afternoon to the nation. Howard, I just want to have several quick points, but I want to disagree with you.
Okay.
In something that you expressed earlier before you went to the break, to the news break. You said that the FNM and the PLP aren't going anywhere. They're here forever. I don't agree with that at all, Howard. I imagine the persons who supported the British rule imagine that same thing in their heads until they saw their power, persuasion, land ownership, wealth just dissipate underneath them, right? I imagine the Bay Street Boys also thought that very same way, right? Until they saw, well, in their case, only their power, because everything else still remains.
I can take up too much time if I bottle you on this, but you know I can't. Because the transition that happened, you can't transition if you're stiff-necked. The British rule, the monarchy, the idea of supremacy is embedded in those particular persons. They don't have the expandability, the elasticity within themselves to be able to shift when change is inevitable. However, political organizations have shifted and changed with every dispensation. The PLP has done so over 70 years. The FNM has done so over 50 years.
They were also all political organizations, with the exception of the
UBP. The UBP was the second organization formed in this country. The PLP is the oldest.
Who was for their own benefit. But nonetheless, Howard, I mean, history and politics over the world and over the centuries will tell you differently. And it tells you that shift does happen and change does occur. And certain organizations were wiped off of the planet, of the earth, and their existence is not even remembered or spoken about, right?
I can accept that.
And the very same can happen to the FNM and the PLP, Howard.
We're talking about it could happen, but it's unlikely, especially within our lifetime.
No, and
if what I'm saying today, it could happen to the FNM.
Which is why I'm bringing you to a point, a specific point, Howard, to show you how things are shifting in this country. Right before us, some may recognize it, most probably don't. You had a situation down there in Eleuthera the other day, right, Howard? And this is for informational purpose and to edify persons who may not follow, appreciate, or understand. You had a situation where there was a challenge with certain basic necessities, right? What did those people do, Howard, down there in Eleuthera?
What you mean, they complain?
No, I'm asking you, do you know, let me ask you, do you know what they did?
What did they do?
Anga?
Go ahead.
They threatened the PLP government. They threatened them blatantly and directly and told them, told us rather, if we don't get that situation right, forget about their guy, forget about our guy, forget about the member of parliament in the next election, whenever it is called. He would be gone.
This when Ricky Mackey come up.
He would be gone. I don't know about no Ricky Mackey coming up.
No. He made some pronouncements publicly.
Well, I'm not speaking about Ricky Mackey. I'm telling you what the people stated from their own mouth. Right? See, Howard, what you have to remember is when people are impacted directly in enough numbers for a long enough season, and that is upon us right now, change occurs. Change occurs, Howard. When people are impacted
I beg your leave. I beg leave.
Pardon me?
I beg leave right here. You are absolutely correct, and that change has been happening from 2002. You are absolutely correct. However, the change has been shifted to the option, the most viable option that's available to the Bahamian people, which is the opposing political organization. And in the event that the PLP is shifted right now, they will move to the viable, prepared option that is the Free National Movement.
However, Howard, if you recall what I said when I started with my comments, I started to say to you that some organizations, some armies, some mites of history have been wiped out of the existence of the memory of their existence. The very memory of their existence has been wiped from the planet, Howard. Some of them have just been wiped away. And let me tell you, Howard, we are in a dispensation in our country right now, Howard, where provided some key things happen, some key people are involved in the day-to-day politics, and I'm not going to give away all of the cards. That's why I'm being a little evasive here. If some key things happen, Howard, now.
You know you got to call me later, right? Praise God.
Right now. Pardon me?
I say, you know you got to call me later. I need to hear these key things. Praise God.
Right now, yeah, we can talk about that offline for sure. So long as you don't bring it online.
Of course I can do that. Be decent. It's decent.
Right now, Howard, with what is happening, right at this very instance, Howard, what we are talking about, God, Howard, and the nation, could take place within either the PLP or the FNM. The PLP or the FNM. The only thing, and what I mean by that is the people could become so frustrated, Howard, and a faction of the population that not normally involved in politics, who would tell you about yourself in an instant, because they ain't like us. They ain't like the generations before us, and they still ain't like the generation of our forefathers, our grandparents, and in some of our instances, our fathers and mothers. If they get involved, Howard, let me tell you, they could bring about a third party in the country who may not even be prepared, but because of their frustration with the status quo, with the existence of just talk and talk and talk and more talk, and not enough action, with the awakening, Howard, things could shift in the next
Overnight.
general election. I'll end right here with you are on vacation with the family. You had a show that I didn't know it was pre-recorded, but I listened. It involved Bishop Michael Pine in Grand Bahama, right? He was sort of onto it. Me and you had this conversation a few months ago. He was sort of onto it, but he was on the wrong side of who we think would be the party that could be wiped away. The people are interested in wiping away anyone who does not carry power, who does not have the ability to influence change and immediate change in their lives. The people examine the people who are sitting in the chair with. The people examine the people who call the shots with. The people examine those whose record they can only run on in any next election. I'm not drawing it just because the PLP is the government. I'm drawing it from a general perspective to tell you they examine the people in power.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying, Howard?
Thank you, my brother.
Those are the people who would be nailed to the stake, first and foremost. And it'll be up for the people who are seeking to buy to make a difference. Thank you for the opportunity.
I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, got to take this quick commercial break. When we get back, we can talk about this because you bring it up. You put it on the table.
The line's lit up.
You put it on the table, and we got to dissect it accordingly. Quick
Yeah.
break. Be right back after this.
Side waiting, but waiting till the morning. Put this a long time, girl, me never see you. Brr, come make me hold you.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Everything is bigger and better at Burger King Nassau. When you have a big appetite, BK has a royal deal for you. Get a flame grilled double Big King Jr. or an original chicken sandwich plus 4 chicken nuggets, small fries, a drink, and a fresh baked cookie for only $9.95, including that. The royal deal was built for a big appetite, and at $9.95, including that, it's a steal of a deal. Go big and enjoy the BK flavors you love with the $9.95 royal deal at Burger King Nassau.
Great news! Ron's Electric Motors' new location on Cowpen Road, right next to Island Luck, is open Saturdays and Sundays. So for those needing repairs on electric motors, generators, welding machines, water pumps, battery chargers, electric lifts, transformers, and power tools, Ron's Cowpen Road location can have you up and running on weekends. Don't forget, you can still visit Ron's Electric Motors on Wolf Road and Claridge Road, and now Ron's new location on Cowpen Road. Dial 356-0249 or 323-5267.
Right here in sunny Bahamas at Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. You will want to tune in every Sunday, 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. starting September 15th. I, Garth Minard Roseborough, will bring you a program where your opinions meet the facts, where fiction meets reality. I welcome you September 15th, Guardian Radio for Remark, 96.9 FM, Bahamas.
So much things to say right now. They got so much things to say.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Excuse me for the interruption. Boy, come and a quick reminder to say this coming Friday, and please come over the lawn. You went to the man number 1 sound around town. And it's a Friday.
And we are back, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant in your company. Let me go straight to the lines. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Next call. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Oh, and God, how y'all doing?
I'm good, man. What's happening?
Hey, good afternoon.
People over on the side. First of all, God, let me say congratulations on your show.
Thank you, Doc.
My Chiefs play at 4 o'clock, so I ain't gonna listen. I can catch the rebound, y'all. Right? You get into 3 people.
You see, I gotta fight you on this.
Listen.
Go ahead, Doc.
It's been a long time.
Uh-huh.
Listen, Howard, don't let Anton call you and give you the stuff about this awakening, whatever. How you gonna awake a generation who got a D+ average?
Ooh.
How can you awaken a generation at what?
How are you going to wake a generation that has a D+ average?
Oh.
Every awakening in the history of man has first come by education and illumination. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You got a generation of folk whose address their mommy and daddy is, hey, bro.
Mm-hmm.
What you think you're getting from them?
Oh, now hold on now, Marvin. See,
I'm talking about the masters now. I ain't talking about the
but Doc, this is what I'm saying, right? This is what I said. I agree with you 1,000%, right? But I've also said you there is a segment within our population, however, that is awakening, and they're not at a D+ average.
I agree with you. But the problem is elections ain't run on segments. Elections are won by masters. It's a numbers game.
What is their numbers? What is their numbers in the population right now? Give it to me.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, here's two factors I can tell you that always creates a problem. And this is why every 5 years we do what Howard is saying we do, which is switch between the two alternatives that have the most visibility and perceived power. This here's why. Okay? Because we have an electorate in this country that, except for the COVID election that was poorly called and poorly managed, normally 85 to 90% of registered voters in this country, of eligible voters in the country, register. And out of that 90% that register, 9 of the 10 of them vote.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, everybody votes. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's always going to be more of them who, a couple of cases of Guinness on the basketball court, some T-shirts here, you throw something here, you throw them in a big party, you have KB sing at this rally, you have the singing bishop on the next one. That's all they care for.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they care for.
No.
That's the depiction, the idea of election season. That's what it is.
But that's yesterday.
Right. Now, here's
God,
the other flip side of that.
we haven't reached tomorrow yet.
We heading there.
No, we haven't.
You cannot make an assessment about tomorrow if we ain't reach. We only can make an assessment about tomorrow based upon the evidence of yesterday.
Let me ask you a question. When you Doc say we, you talking about W-E or O-U-I? Which we you talking about?
God, I said there were two things.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's the other side of that. The other side of that is we have political parties that are set up to not have true representative governance. Because first of all, the fella they send or the woman they send don't live in your constituency.
Boom. One.
Have no clue what you go through.
One.
Okay? And the system is set up that the only real requirement is how quick can you bend down, how long can you stay down, and what you going to kiss while you down. That's it.
By design.
That's it.
This is by design.
Designed for the worst of the worst of the people.
This is heavy.
To succeed.
Me and Doc work together. That's how you talk.
For the least informed to easily vote, okay? And the system is designed that if you can't tell who bringing the money in it, whoever has the biggest paycheck is going to swing this. And guess what? I don't blame the PM for saying that they ain't going to release the donors' names, because these last two biggest donors in the last two elections, my God, and Sam Bankman-Fried, are both sitting in U.S. jail.
In jail.
I'd be scared to call donors' names too. Who else the FBI can go after?
Okay.
All right. So the system, and I go back to this, until we change the system to one, let me vote for my MP, but also separately vote for my prime minister. That's the first thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Secondly, you can't be my MP if you don't live there. You can't be. If we change those two things, it will intrinsically bring about a change. Because now it ain't just, hey, you come to the basketball court and drop some case of Guinness, or you give some people a T-shirt with a little $50 in it, right? Because when you don't treat them right for the 4.5 years before the 6-month election season, they're going to light you up because they see you every day. That's the difference.
They know.
Right?
You know what they used to do? And they Maroc, let me tell you they used to do. When they don't see my mother, they come looking for me or my grandmother.
Of course.
I mean, stop playing, I tell you.
That's what they do. God knows this because God knows we grew up in a society that when somebody from church wants something, right, from Marvin, right? If they don't find Marvin, they can call Miss Smith.
That's what they can do.
They
That's
call
what the society is.
But they going to find you. problem is,
Doc.
these dudes just change their number the day after the election and nobody even knows.
But Doc, I hear what you're saying, right? And I see Howard there with a smirk on his face, like, yeah, I told you so. Okay.
And I normally don't say Howard right, but today Howard right.
Howard always right.
No, so let me fight, Doc. Let me fight this quickly so you can go, right? Because I know you're a busy man, right? How much money did they have the 21st of August, 1791 in Hispaniola, in Haiti? How much money did they have against the French?
That ain't got nothing to do with it.
No. See, you talking about election. I talk about revolution. See, y'all missing me.
This ain't a revolution.
No. Work with me. Work with me. Because I heard Howard say we. I want you to define who the we is, because there is a population that is outgrowing and outpopulating what they call organic behemoths. That's a fact. No, that's a fact. I'm talking about the extinction of a political party in this country, because you are taking for granted that everyone is going to remain faithful to the Bahamian parties, the PLP and the FNM. But there is a group of individuals here that are not fully Bahamian that may just decide, you know what, we want to be politically involved too, and they have numbers.
All this is hyperbolic. All this is hypothetical.
It is hypothetical.
It's perceived.
But is it possible?
These are threads.
But is it possible?
On in the wind.
But is it possible?
There are always possibilities.
Because you said it can never happen, and I'm fighting you in the idea that it could happen.
Hold on. It's possible, but it is improbable. It's not probable.
Howard, what God forgets is this, right? That the assimilation of basic culture has moved to the bottom. Okay?
Explain.
So what used to happen was, okay, that Bahamian culture was a family-based culture. And these other folk you talking about,
yes,
right, also had a strong family culture.
Yes.
But the basic culture now is adopted American culture. That's what it is.
Do you know what their favorite beer is? They drink more collective Bahamian people. They drink more collective Bahamian people.
Somebody got to keep the people over.
Both ends of those two groups converge to the same cesspit. Okay? And so everybody's swimming now in the same sludge. And the problem you're always going to have is, if the people themselves aren't fully educated, don't understand these processes, they will always go for what's easy. The question was asked, what is easier, leadership or misleadership?
Yes.
Misleadership is always easy because our very nature
is to lie.
Is to not do good. That's the nature of who we are. Okay?
I think that's a slap in the face to the Bahamian people.
That's what you is.
All I'm saying is this. At the end of the day, revolution happens with a small group of people. Okay? But people got to also feel like it's worth it who I'm fighting for. So when Toussaint and those other fellas decided to do what they did, they understood that the people, when they did it, even the ones who were scared to fight with them, would be okay and move along with the changes that they made. The problem you have right now is a lot of folk in this country ain't going to take the risk to do nothing because they know that when they go down that alley, they have to go by themselves. Wow. Everybody who say, I come with you, when they turn around,
they're gone. Bushcrack, man, gone.
Why would
Doc,
you risk that?
The line's lit right up. I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. Thank you so much for your contribution. Right? Now, I want to say this to you, Garth, before I go to this next call. I want to say this to you.
Listening.
I want you to hear me now.
I'm listening.
Revolution could only happen when there is an extraction of comfort and contentment in an environment. That's the only time revolution happens.
Are we comfortable now?
Yes. Bahamian people
are comfortable?
Bahamian people are content.
In this?
Bahamian people are content.
Right now?
Right today.
Man, I can't believe that.
I don't care what you say, what you believe. I'm telling you. Bahamian people are content. They will row you for 2 seconds and then they'll get back to paying the high price for the tuna. They're okay with that. Bahamian people are content. They're content. You go into anyone in the supermarkets, all you see is the butane burners all over the place. They're content with this. They're content with this sort of an idea that our former prime minister could come out and say, well, I didn't even know that these people didn't have toilets in an area that that he represented for 40 years. They're content living in this environment. They're content walking out to the pump. They're content. They are content with this. They're content.
My God.
They're content. And the revolution can only happen when you extract that comfort and contentment of the environment. Now they won't kill.
No, I won't talk.
As long as you feed them peace, give them a little something to keep their bed. Well, at least you ain't dead, eh? My God, you can take this. That will never lead to a revolution in this country. This country ain't ready for this kind of action.
They ain't ready for this change.
They ain't ready for this kind of action. When you start to talk about the revolution that happened in Haiti, they were never content. Haitian people right now, they are never content. That live in their blood. We ain't the same people. And so drawing the comparison is few and far between. You can't look at us, knowing our culture, and compare us to others. We content. The PLPs make sure be comfortable. If they ain't do nothing for you in 3 years, the last 2 years is yours, baby.
That's what's happening
If the
now.
F&M ain't do nothing for you in 3 years, the last 6 months is yours, baby. So y'all don't do nothing bad. Let me take this quick commercial break and be right back after this.
Chanting, bim, chanting, bim, chanting. You black at the microphone, chanting,
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. We're conveniently located in the Mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and fully stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion, located in the Mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
When you jump in your Japanese import and you turn the radio on, all you hear is... For the month of September, the Hit Spot will install a band extender in your Japanese import for the discounted rate of only $79.99, VAT included. Get your band expander installed today at the Hit Spot and listen to
Star 106.5.
Plus, get fresh news and smart talk on
Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Excuse me.
Got to come right in, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio, Howard Grant, the foundation. Just talking with Garth. Garth, you pushed me to the... I don't know why y'all do this on Friday, but I've been saying... See, y'all say some things... Yeah, that's probably what it is. You say some things and you know that can provoke, it can give me, it can make me rise to a point where I can be able to agitate for some things. These are the people that you're talking about. The people that you're talking about are content with the idea that they can go to Commonwealth Bank and be able to get a loan, and they live in a house with don't have proper plumbing, but they got a nice Honda outside. This is the people that you're talking about from a general standpoint. Not everybody. Everybody ain't in this bucket. However, there are people that live here that only pursue contentment and comfort. These same people that you ride. Today is Friday. It's Friday. You can walk outside, you can see some orange hair, some red hair, some tight dress, some this, some that. And their preparation is to be able to sell themselves for the weekend. This is the contentment of our environment. You need to stop talking foolishness, but revolution. These people don't revolve into anything other than into the next day. That's it. That the only revolutionary cycle they want to see is the sun coming up, going down. Coming up, going. That is the closest to revolution that these people, that and the tires moving in their Honda. That's the closest to revolution that they will see in this country, because they're not willing to fight like their forefathers. We ain't nobody get pissed off enough to fight for something. Everybody is content and comfortable.
Sure.
Lackadaisical. I said to you that no one seeks perfection. No one seeks to be able to get to a position of perfection. When they get on their job, they don't seek to do the best job, to get on and do just enough not to get fired. This is the contentment that lives in our environment. This is breed and taught and trained to our children. The next generation of children have the same mindset. The same children, like Doc said, the same children who don't even know how to address their mother. They call their mother by their first name.
Amazing.
Tell their daddy, don't talk to me, he ain't my daddy. They don't even know who their pa is. and you think that's going to be the generation that can be able to lead this country into a revolution, oh my God, we'll be here another century. Let's be decent. Telephone call quickly. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Howard.
Hey, Anthony, call back. What's up?
Just give me 1 second to address Doc, please. I don't know which Doc that is, but y'all can let me know because y'all know clearly. But nonetheless, Doc claimed that, well, based on what God called him, Doc claimed that nothing will change because of the average generation. Look, his position, in my view, and based on the facts of our nation's history, is as far from the truth as the sun is from the moon. His position was nonsensical, as a matter of fact. The non-educated population of the Bahamas, who only had a third-grade education, made all the changes in the Bahamas. We all enjoy today, including Doc, right? Including Doc. That third-grade population created an team, majority rule, one man, one vote. The middle class, the working class, the rich class, the educated class, the very life and comforts we all enjoy in this country today. The third-grade generation of yesteryear. So, Doc, your position is nonsensical, completely nonsensical. As a matter of fact, we are not a revolution kind of society with anything we have attained in our country today. But that doesn't mean, and that doesn't say we're not a fighting society, Howard, Doc, and God, right?
That's
God
my point.
wasn't on that,
I'm not talking about bloodshed.
So I separate
That's my point.
I separate you from that. War,
Right.
what we need to bear in mind is this. War is but one means of accomplishing the same objective. However, it's barbaric and it's the worst means of advancement, progress, and equality. It's actually silly to use war. It's silly. It's stupid.
But watch me.
To use war.
Watch me,
You have
Anton.
many other mechanisms you can use.
The
to
mechanism
destroy
that
and
we
accomplish
chose,
the objective.
the
Pardon me?
mechanism that we chose, and Anton, I got to let you go, man. I got another caller's coming in. The mechanism that we chose to be able to utilize to get ourselves to this identified, what we call, from one perspective, independence, and from a true perspective, which is self-governance. The mechanism that we chose was to be able to negotiate these things, right? And in negotiation, all there was a transition from one white pale face to a black face. That's why we call it neo-colonialism. That is why we endure the tribulation that we have. This is a perpetuation of the same UBP rule on the different concepts and ideas with different Negroes in the position. That's all this is. This is neo-colonialism. But I believe that if we had war, if we had eradicated some people, if we had wrapped, not that I'm advocating for this, but I'm simply saying the succession of these things, they identify these things. Haiti right now, you know that you have to be on your P's and Q's. And as soon as the people are unsatisfied, you better get out there quickly. Because you know, historically, this is what happens. Nobody in this country, all we want to do is have a nice, democratic, and easy conversation and be good. And you expect real change to happen. It's not going to happen. All you're going to do is put some articulate, insightful person in the position to teach from you. And that is what's been happening in this country. Let me take a next telephone call quickly. Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead. Next call, quickly. Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead. Go ahead, caller. You're on the line with us live.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine, man. I listen to the show. Wonderful show.
I appreciate you.
Hey,
man.
Howard, I couldn't say no better. You hit the nail on the head because these people are so contented, bro. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I watched the group COI, Mr. Bain. They go to Parliament and, man, next thing you know, he's too fussy, he's too this and he's too that. The bulk of people, they ain't gonna stand up.
Yeah, but they didn't train us. They didn't train us like pretty poodles. Be good.
Not a Rottweiler.
You know, as the colonial masters did a number, they did a number on us. Because, I mean, bro, you hit the nail on the head. People, once they get a collect, the hair done and nails done, they happy, man. They contented. Ain't nobody talking about going fight and kill nobody and fight like that. We talking about stand up and say, man, enough is enough. Let's make a change at the polls. Ain't no one talking about violence. You understand? But they are very contented, man. They love it. They have no problem. Everything good. Everything cool.
Everything is cool. I appreciate the telephone call, my brother. Thank you so very. Everything is cool, God. Everything is cool. You want to talk about changing the FNM? That ain't gonna happen. You want to talk about changing the PLP? That ain't gonna happen. The first change that need to happen is in your house.
So
when you decide to stop messing with married man, that's the change that need to happen. That's the first change.
Okay, so
when you decide stop having children for married man, that's the first thing. When you decide to stop sweethearting on your wife, that's the first change that need to happen. When you teach your children to be decent and you stay as a father in the house with your children, that's the first thing. When you teach them the decency of how to contribute to the society, that's the change that's gonna happen. Unless and until we deal with ourselves first, you can't expect nothing to change externally. That ain't how changes happen.
But how would you want to host a remark? I used to host a remark.
What that got to do with anything?
That's a remark.
Let me take this to it. Caller, you got 12 seconds. Go ahead, caller.
Oh, God, you're stepping on some toes today.
I got to be decent.
Say that's why the PLC chairman so arrogant. Understand? You don't know this, man. This politics, this is how the Bahamian politics go. Only a few Bahamians in this country really want to stand up for the Bahamas and really want to change the paradigm. You know what I mean? But if all of us don't change, it will continue to be this way every time.
I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. Next caller, 2 seconds. Go ahead. 2 seconds. Take it quick.
Howard, man, look here, man. I just want to commend you, Howard. I commend you for letting your vexation get yuck up like the old people say, or get held.
Boy, go drive on 285 where you come from, boy. What you went to, boy?
Look here. God, please test our pulse like that every day until we call in and say we changing.
I appreciate you.
You said the truth, my brother. Listen to me.
I appreciate you.
I always wondered what it takes for us to hear the truth in a way that is compelling and convincing.
Why did it take?
And you are the orator and the voice that did it today in a way that is remarkable, sir.
I appreciate you, my brother.
Remarkable.
Every day until we say, Howard, we revolution, we yield to thee.
I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you so much for your telephone call. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the 2 o'clock mark. I see the lines are still lit up. I want to thank you so much for being able to join in the conversation. This man coming here to play the devil's advocate today, but I got my holy water. I'll sprinkle it on your guts. You know the stuff. That's the show today, guys. Make sure you tune in on Sunday for Remark with Garth Roseborough at 5 o'clock from 5 to 6:30 p.m., where he's going to be talking about marriage,
sex.
And sex, the demon within. We're going to be talking